The Athene Real Talk Podcast explores controversial ideas to stimulate debate and active thinking. These ideas do not always reflect Athene's personal views. Welcome to the Athene Real Talk Podcast.
He has been called the best gamer in the world, hands down.
World-famous gamer and philanthropist Athene.
Gaming for Good, it's called, has raised more than $20 million.
Using his notoriety to raise money for charity.
On activism, science, culture, and self-development.
Proud to have him in the studio today. I would not want to take you on in a video game.
What is very important when I say to be truly yourself, that's also very important to understand. Being truly yourself does not mean feeling fine when you're around other people. Being truly yourself is a relationship with yourself, where you feel full confidence in your own intuition, in what you are, you have enough love, and you don't mind being yourself around other people. You just constantly just yourself. There is nothing that can be hurt because you trust yourself. And even when someone comes at you and talks smack or whatever and says something that really could potentially hurt you, you just filter it through understanding. You see, that person just didn't know any better. When someone comes to me and start going on a rampage, I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry because these people don't know any fucking better. And that is the thing, when you go through full understanding rather than just blaming yourself or blaming others, you just forgive people. You go through pure acceptance to see things for what they are, and you try finding ways to see how you can help people to get them more love, more understanding. Because love and understanding, it's the same thing. Like, love is understanding, you know? Of course, understanding embodies more than just love, but you guys get what I mean. So yeah, that's really important. The reason why certain people feel more comfortable around other people is because these other people, they don't feel like they're being judged by them, either because they share the same identity and the same flaws, so they can very easily cross-connect them, or because this people is more understanding or whatever. But if you have this pure relationship with yourself and you understand why you experience this anger or blaming yourself, whatever, if you have this understanding, all this understanding gives you more and more confidence to be just truly yourself at any given time. I will repeat all the time the same thing from now on because it's just the core, it's the essence. You guys blame yourself. A lot of people, even, why are you watching the stream? Why do you have the need to go on the stream and watch live streams or whatever? Why do you have that? Because you feel empty inside. You feel worthless. It's the only social contact for many that you can get, that you feel like you can just look without feeling judged. And even that is hard when you're watching my stream, because I can sometimes really talk smack. But right now I'm showing love, man. I truly care. I don't want to give up on you. And you shouldn't either. You should never give up on yourself. And I bet there's a lot of people watching the stream right now that give up on themselves. Man, if I would have given up every time when someone talks smack to me, I'd be a fucking scrub in the sewers. But no, you use that, you understand it. Understanding allows you to fuel all the hate around you into inspiration. You can change it. You can transfer that negative energy in motivation, in inspiration, to keep going, to try and help and have an impact, rather than just going into a negative spiral like, I suck, I suck. Come on, man. You don't suck. Your essence is pure. You don't label yourself. You don't judge yourself. You believe by trusting in your intuition, knowing that understanding, reason, is the best thing you can trust. You can fully trust your reason. Let me tell you who you can't fucking trust. You can't trust your identity. You can't trust your fucking ego. You can't trust your self-pity. These things just screw you over. You can trust reason. And you know, when people were clicking, right, it was working. People were actually valuing logic and trusting it. Do you know why they felt back? Do you know why you guys, when you clicked, felt back? It's because you didn't know how to cope with self-doubt and how to cope with fear. And then you were then subconsciously back reaching out to identity or to ego or to self-pity in order to cope with your situation, because you didn't know any better. But I'm telling you, trust your reason. It has answers to everything. And if you experience fear, rather than channeling it immediately through ego and being in denial, no, you try to understand it. You go like, oh wait, maybe I have to isolate yourself. Even if you're vulnerable, it's fine to cry. Just cry, whatever. It's fine. It's fine to just be yourself. And if people just push you around and all that shit, I'm telling you, you're going to be on the winning end at the end of the day. Just go to your room, cry a little bit, forgive them, understand them. And honestly, from the bottom up, you will get stronger and stronger and stronger. When people were talking smack and shit to me, I saw through it. I understood it. Understanding, man, that's what you guys need. Love is understanding. Feeling accepted is understanding. Feel understood is understanding. Reason, man. All praise reason. And that is basically logic. Logic, reason is quite interconnected, intertwined. And you can fully trust your intuition. And it's not the duality. It's not like, oh, I gotta be logical or I gotta be... No, just follow your intuition. And when you have inner conflict, you just go like, okay, how can I understand it? Because understanding solves it. Understanding solves your shit. Because once you see reality for what it is, your emotions don't even punch you anymore. You don't even beat yourself up. You either accept something or you try to do something about it. That's how simple it becomes. And I'll explain you guys something else. The reason why you guys feel like eating or playing games or whatever the fuck, it's not because you guys want it. It's because you guys feel distracted, and it's a way to go from this inner voice and inner chatter and inner noise to a point where you're just in a flow. Watching or playing games or whatever, or watching this stream puts you in a flow. It sets you at ease. And the moment I stop streaming, the voices start coming back. But these voices are a symptom. They are you pinging to others because you don't trust your fucking self. Do you understand that? Why does it feel good to listen to me? Because I give you a little bit more trust in yourself. I'm telling you, you can give it to yourself. You can do it yourself. And the moment you do that, you are free forever. But I'm not saying like you're going to go blindly and go like, oh, YOLO. No. Reason. Whenever you don't understand something, don't use all these previous baked-in mechanics like, now I'm going to use my ego, or now I'm going to pity myself, oh, I'm so shit. No. When you are in a situation where you experience doubt or you experience fear, it's only because you don't understand it. And there is an answer to everything. You just got to think about it and figure it out. And even if you're in this weak state, even though it is hard, I understand that your identity might be skyscraper high. It is a lie. And if you don't tackle this shit, you're gonna have to carry it around for your rest of your fucking life. And the bigger the skyscraper, the bigger the weight on your shoulders, because you're carrying it around. This skyscraper that you feel a little bit confident, you're carrying it around. You don't need it. Let it go. Follow your reason. And I'm telling you, if you do that, you won't even need to watch the stream anymore. Maybe you need some little help, a little push or whatever. Apply, come over. I'm even giving people that go like, okay man, my environment is toxic. Come over. Don't fucking make excuses, man. Be fucking responsible. Believe in your fucking self. Don't give up on your fucking self. And if you learn how to do it yourself and be able to understand that your intuition is always fucking right if it comes from the pure state of what you are, you can never look back and regret what you did because you knew you did the right thing with your understanding. You're always clear. The past, you don't give a shit. The future, you don't give a shit. You're constantly in the present because you know you're going to be responsible. You know you can count on yourself. But you got to be able to love. You got to be able to care on a fundamental level about what you are, man. That essence, that inner child that was crawling away. Allow it to be, man. Allow it to be curious. Allow it to start growing back up, man. Jirtima Time says, Athene, please explain me how these people living in your place for free. What's the catch? Do they work for you? Please explain. No, they don't work for me. Let me tell you something. I live my life pure based on my intuition. And my intuition is very rational, obviously, because I've always tried to understand everything. Whenever there is something that my gut feeling says, this doesn't make any sense, I try to figure it out using reason and grow. Like I understand that on a fucking essential level, there is no difference between me and you and anyone else. I feel connected with everybody around me. I understand that I'm part of a bigger organism. Just like a cell in the body. I understand my person, is a cell in a bigger organism. That's it. So my ability to have the biggest impact, to contribute the most, to have the biggest ripple effect, is by enabling other people to do so. And that's why I started this place. And then you can say, but what about you? The reason why you think selfishly, the reason why you think, oh, me, is because on a fundamental level, you think physically you are at risk. You are not safe. But that's not the case. I'm not at risk. Everything is fine. I'm not starving. I have a roof above my head. So these fears do not control me. I understand my fears and I overcome them. And that is why enabling people to come over here and allow them to actually get and grow to become truly self-independent and trust themselves is the biggest impact I can have in the world. So to me, I'm not even giving. To me, I'm just being. And if it wasn't for my parents taking care of me, I wouldn't be able to be in the spot where I am now. The reason why you distrust is because you project yourself. I trust myself and I trust the world. I care about you and I don't give up about you because I don't give up about myself and because I care about myself. You see in others what you see through your own eyes. And that is why I care. That's why my intentions are pure. That's why I keep putting effort. And I know it's really hard for people to wrap their head around. Definitely when you come from a place where all of this sounds too good to be true. But the reason why it sounds too good to be true is because when you grew up as a child and you wanted to do good or whatever, you got punished. But I'm just telling you, with reason on your side, you can overcome all the unfairness and all the shit in the world. You can combat it. And that's what I do. I think a lot of people, what they have to understand is comfort is not a cause, it's a symptom. It's a symptom of you on a fundamental level having this need of escapism. But if you just constantly follow your intuitive need to do what is right, then you don't even need comfort. And even if you end up resting or whatever, it's not even framed like that, because it's more about escapism than it is about comfort. Like, I feel comfortable all the time just being who I am, following my intuition, but that doesn't mean I'm not productive or I'm sitting on my ass or whatever the fuck. So it's not one or the other. You can feel comfortable just being who you are. And the reason why you are craving for comfort is because you aren't. It's like basically the ultimate state where you don't even have this need to go and, crave for distraction or whatever. And it really has to do with task positive network and default mode network. I will quickly explain. Default mode network is the network where you constantly have this inner chatter and inner voice. And task positive network is the network where you're doing something like playing games or whatever. And the problem is that they're mutually exclusive. So you can't have both active at the same time. So that's why when these thoughts in your mind create a lot of confusion and duality, you automatically crave to activate the task positive network by eating or by watching movies or by whatever, distracting, because you don't want to live in your own head of noise and conflict. But if you, instead of looking at this noise of conflict, start understanding where it comes from and just accepting who you are, then your default state becomes this essence where you're constantly present and in a more task active network, because even when you think, it becomes more directed, more clear, more focused. And it's really like explained basically how the brain works and how you can really overcome quite a bit of your limitations by just meditation and breathing and stuff, can shift it away from being trapped inside this cacophony of noise and allowing yourself to be and not beating yourself up over it, because that's what beating yourself up over is. You try to be yourself and suddenly you have all these voices like, oh, you suck, this, that, oh, what does he think? If you just can trust yourself fully, then you don't have these noises, or you don't identify with them, or you don't allow them to grow, because you are fine with who you are and you accept that, and you just think, okay, I can trust this state, I just do what I think is right, and I use reason when I have fear or doubt. And what is very important with that is that you don't let it channel through what you used to that worked, to your conditioning, like ego or like self-pity or like identity. You can't trust it. It doesn't work as well as reason or understanding. I do want to say, by the way, like for example with the click, right? The click has helped quite a lot of people in the past, but they fell back. And I do think that the click can work even in its current form when people, rather than having their fears and their doubts translate into trust in their past identity, trust in ego, or trust in self-pity, because even self-pity is a mechanism that works in certain environments. Trust reason instead. Because if you know you cannot trust ego, you cannot trust your identity, and you cannot trust your self-pity, you automatically can gravitate towards reason and logic and understanding. And as you get a stronger and stronger relationship with it, it can really grow in you. And that's basically valuing logic more than anything, even though you just trust your intuition. So it's not something you impose, it's not something you beat yourself up over, it's just a state that naturally flows. But isn't comfort a core value, not a distraction, or is it core value stuff bullshit? Core value is just language. When you're on a fundamental level, just settle with what you have. You could say it's really what you value the most. Although, when you go even deeper, there is a reason why you do so. So it's just important to understand that when we talk about core values, or when we talk about make logic your core value, whatever, that you don't lose yourself in concepts. Because that's what so many people do. They really labels. It's just about finding pure balance. But even then, you might start going like, oh, pure balance. Or I have to love myself. I like myself. And then you challenge it to identity. It's about being who you are. That's it. Letting everything go. And I said that many times, but when people don't get it, I try to say it in different ways. But actually, when you really boil it down, then it works out well. After podcast 75 about that, I'm responsible for the death of people in need, for example, in Syria. Now I'm confused that I should love myself. Adzio, what you have to understand is, the best way I can explain it is the following. You have this pyramid of needs. And on the fundamental level, you have the physical needs, which is food, shelter, sleep. And if you don't have these, then your entire life is just built on trying to get that. Because if you don't have it, you die. So once that physical need is fulfilled, you go to the emotional one, where you want to be loved, you want to be part of something, whatever. If that's not there, you don't even care. And then if you have that and you care enough, then you can use reason in order to make the full circle complete, where you can actually help other people that are in need. And the thing is, even though the physical reality is there where people are dying and you can save them, if you don't have even the emotion to care about it, then me talking about it won't do anything. And whether you're responsible for it or not, you won't give a shit about it anyway. So allowing yourself to learn how to care is a prerequisite to start caring about the consequences of your actions. And that is the thing that I missed. I missed it before, and now I'm saying it. It was just a missing link, because I care. I was like, but you guys, look what you guys are doing. But you guys didn't care. So now it's about learning how to care. And that starts with caring about yourself. Rookie says, Athene, so you are saying that the repeated behavior script of trying to seek distraction stems from the lack of trust in yourself? Yes. But how do you know what truly is intuition? It's just your gut feeling. It tells you, like, when there's duality, when there's inner conflict, you experience it. You just go like, oh yeah, there is something that doesn't make sense here, and you just use your ability to reason to figure it out. Isn't the fact that people seek distraction because they basically aren't trained or haven't had enough neural pathways strengthened towards doing productive things via distracting yourself at all times? Thanks for reading. No. What you say right now, if that would be the case, if you would go to, for example, Mali, these places, these people, they wake up, they just go to the fields, they go get food, it all happens naturally. Here, the reason why people are so distracted as fuck is because they don't learn to love. They don't learn to love themselves. They don't learn to live in a community. They learn how to just be like, you gotta make money, you gotta be successful, all these judgments, all these expectations. You're even more so than people in third world countries where there's a community. You're more so indoctrinated to really go and be an isolated cell that has to make as much money and be as famous and as successful as possible, and it really goes against this inner bonding with other people and with yourself than people in third world countries. And that's why you have this discrepancy where you want to distract yourself. But if you really feel good about yourself on a fundamental level, and you don't have so much fear about survival or fear about dying or whatever, then you can really grow out of it. And if you connect that with a positive relationship with yourself, and you start appreciating and seeing yourself for what you are, and that translates to other people, and that automatically brings about a compass that is based on right action and doing what the right thing. And that's why children have a much purer heart than older people. That's also why we say it. And they didn't have to learn how to have it. It's just there, because that's how we evolved, by constantly calibrating reality. But we live in a society where reality is so much more put away from you, with all the systems and the government fixing all the stuff, that you create this relationship with this identity that seems to work better within society, rather than just seeing it for what it is, seeing reality for what it is, and trusting your intuition and doing what is right, combined with your reason, obviously. So basically, a sense of community also cultivates love for self, and also raises the need for things like discipline and such, when there is not so much expectations and there's a lot of acceptance. Yes, and that's what you also see in certain communities, like religious communities and stuff, where people say, I'm feeling much better than in society. You can actually look up these documentaries, not saying that that's the way to go, but they feel much more themselves and being able to flourish, even though they're not fully understanding the dynamics and the reason they still to have to make compromises, but they still feel like these kind of compromise and believing in God or Jesus or whatever is still a better compromise than letting go the ability to care about oneself. That is really something a lot of people don't realize. People that go into religion and Jesus and whatever, like, they just make a compromise where they sacrifice reason for love, in a sense. On the other hand, there's people that don't even have this love and just go about life in a way where they just aim to make money and try to fit in, which is, in a sense, even further away than these people, even though you don't have to sacrifice love for reason. You can have both.
Subscribe to youtube.com/AtheneWins. Watch the live stream at twitch.tv/AtheneLive, and follow The Real Athene on Snapchat.